Hello folks, a much balder Neil here from I Will Always Love Video Games with a brand new episode of IWALVG Finds. You guys are in for a special treat this week because Herbie decided to join me on my game-chasing adventures. Take a look. The very first table Herbie and I come to is loaded with games. Stuff for PS1 and 64, original Xbox, a nice variety. I'd have grabbed Chef's Love Shack if it were complete, but other than that, nothing here interests me. Herbie's eyeing this original purple GameCube controller though. I always check tables filled with DVDs, because there may be some games mixed in. Again, nothing here for me, but Herbie grabbed this CKY2K DVD for $1. It's witchcraft! This lady's selling some complete DS games. Herbie passed on Ultimate Spider-Man, but for $2, I'll gladly take advantage.
$2? I'll do $2. That's his pose is very interesting.
He's presenting himself. He's like, mount me.
Now this is what I'm talking about. Clean, complete PS2 games including Tekken 5 and Dot Hack Outbreak.
3 apiece?
I pick up a copy of Vampire Knight as Herbie discovers that the Dot Hack game only contains the bonus DVD. These are some pricey packages though, so when Herbie starts to hand it back to the seller, I jump in and ask if I can buy it instead.
You willing to part with it for like $1? Sure. Cool. I'll take that. Foreskin 500. Man pussy. Album of the decade. Wins all Grammys ever.
Found this copy of Time Shift for $1. Yeah, sure, why not? Here's a couple of Xbox 360 faceplates still sealed.
How much for these?
$5.
$5? Each or for the pair? Each. That's pretty cool.
Looking back on this, I should have grabbed at least one of them. And that's about it for today. Herbie took off and I walked away with a nice selection of titles for only $13. Great way to start the week. Off to the warehouse. Usually don't have much luck here, but it's still worth checking out every few weeks or so. They've still got copies of the Prince of Persia graphic novel that I found a long time ago. If you ever come across this, grab it. It's really good. Here's one in a series of novels based on Diablo of all things. The Sin War, Book 3, The Veiled Prophet. $1.99 isn't a bad price at all, but the other books in the series are nowhere to be found, and I wouldn't start with Book 3. Nothing else, I'm afraid. Looks like this trip was a bust. On to the pawn shop. Summer sale on DVDs and games, eh? Well, let's see what they've got. They've got a box full of original Xbox games, PSP games, and PSP UMD movies. Doesn't look like much until, ooh, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep for PSP, and it's sealed. And here's Final Fantasy II, open but complete. I also grabbed this Harry Potter game. There were 2 versions of the Sorcerer's Stone game. One was released in 2001 for PS1 and home computers, and the other was released 2 years later. This is the 2003 version made for 6th generation consoles, and it normally commands at least double the price of its predecessor. To top this visit off, I snagged Tom Clancy's classic trilogy featuring Splinter Cell, Ghost Recon, and Rainbow Six 3. $9 total for this small but quality stack of games. Another trip to 2nd & Charles with another huge box of random trade-ins. Pricing here is weird. Here's a white label collector's edition version of Tomorrow Never Dies for PS1. $5, not a bad price. RoboCop and Muscle for the NES. 2 great franchises with their own crappy games. Pricing here is really weird. Here's Chobits, a Japanese import for PS2 based on the anime of the same name. Should I have bought this? Because I didn't. What I did buy, however, were these 3 games. The original total was $15.50, but, once again, thanks to trade-in credit, I grabbed them all for free, and that's not all. In the free bins up front was this Mad Cat steering wheel and pedal set for PS1, PS2, and N64. My wife ended up grabbing it to give to our son to play with. Aw, what a good mommy. A rainy morning doesn't stop a local church from having a community yard sale. This lady has a big, bulky Pac-Man 2 handheld electronic game. It's missing a battery compartment cover, but it works, and for 50 cents, I think it's worth it.
How much for this?
50 cents?
50 cents? I think I can do that.
She also has a box of random GameCube games for $2 each. I grabbed Batman Vengeance and Batman Begins, both of which are complete. $4.50 for 2 Batman games and a cool retro handheld? Sounds good to me. It's the last day of the week, and that means back to the flea market. The very first table I come to has a nice selection of games, including 2 sealed Dragon Ball Z games for PS2. A sealed copy of Budokai 3 is not cheap.
Is this your table?
Yes.
How much are your games? $1 a piece? Okay.
$1 a piece? Yeah, I'm grabbing a few of these. DS games, $4 each. Nothing I'm interested in, though. Oh my. Here's a couple of Player's Choice GameCube games, Sonic Riders and Crash Bandicoot Wrath of Cortex. The lady offered them to me for $5 total. I'm not a fan of either game, but I'll send them to Eastarland. What a way to end the week. Sealed games and some complete games for cheap prices. $9 well spent. And so ends another great week of finds. And you know what? You can find stuff like this too. Just remember to carry some extra cash on you. And if you come across a pawn shop or a flea market or a swap meet or a Goodwill, take the time, pop in there and take a look around, because as I've shown you time and time again, you never know what you'll find. Until next time, my name is Neil, and I will always love video games. Have a good one.